Good morning. Good morning. John here. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Like I always tell myself, dominate the day. Every day is a new day to be great. Um, just wanted to go over something real quick about if you're ever in a rut. One of the things to get out of the rut is practice mindfulness and gratitude. The reason being is that when you exercise those two things, you actually shift not only your mindset but your heart posture into a positive perspective that allows you to turn into like a problem solving mode. So when you practice gratitude, you pretty much can't fix a problem with the mindset that created it. You have to make that shift. And once you make that shift, you're able to see things a lot clearer. And once you are able to see things a lot clearer, it really allows you to go after things that you truly desire and that you're called to do with a vigor that you typically wouldn't if you have that mindset of lack. Another thing is watch how you talk to yourself. Death and life is in the power of the tongue. And if you are doing negative self-talk, you are actually actively speaking against yourself as well as sabotage. Self-sabotage comes in many forms, but again, 9 times out of 10, if you're speaking it, it's because you feel it in your heart. You know, Pretty much people, aren't aware of the things that they say until someone else may point it out to you. But what's in your heart, 9 times out of 10 is gonna come out your mouth. And another thing is surrounding yourself around people who can keep you lifted in those times of frustration and despair. Because when you have people around you who are reckless with their mouth, again, death and life is in the power of the tongue. If they're just speaking without even being mindful of what they're saying, they're actually, speaking a cap over you. And if you're not in the right mind space, you will begin to think that their perspective is your reality when it's not. It's just their perspective. It's just them casually speaking, callously speaking. And you have to be mindful of who you are, what you are, and who you are called by. And once you start to realize that and really speak those things over you, hey, I am a child of God. Hey, I am the first. I'm not the last. I am loved. I am appreciated. I am valuable. I am worthy. I am great. I am equipped. You have to tell yourself these things, because if you don't, the way our mind is and the way we consume things from our phones, from negative self-talk, all these images and comparison, you would get in a rut. So practice that mindfulness, practice that gratitude. And one book of the Bible I would highly encourage you guys to read is Job, because he was a guy that walked in, like the Lord said, that he walked in complete integrity. And Satan tried to get at him, and he couldn't. And until the Lord was just like, hey, this is my servant Job. He walks in complete integrity. Satan was like, hey, you got this hedge over him. And once the hedge was lifted, Satan came at him. He lost everything. And in the midst of that, even his wife was just like, hey, curse God and die, even though Job was afflicted. And his friends was just like, well, you had to do something. You had to do something. But it was like, nah, Job just, he never cursed God. He never, he had his questions, but he never cursed God. He continued to give praise. He continued to serve. And, God gave him even more that he lost. So you have to be mindful, to speak over yourself. You have to be mindful of the people who you surround yourself with. Or do they lift you up when you're going through transition? Do they lift you up when you have questions, when you have self-doubt? You're not necessarily doubting God, sometimes, or even want to curse God. But we as humans, we have our doubts about life. We have our doubts about ourselves. We have our doubts about a situation. So you have to like really encourage yourself, but also surround yourself with the right type of people who can remind you of who you are, as well as remind you of the purpose and the mission. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Again, my name is John Lewis, and as always, be great.